Hello, authors. How's the book coming along? You're watching the pilot episode of 300 Pages, where I break down simple concepts and tips and techniques to write better and help you master your storytelling goals. I'm your host, Sudhir. Let's get started. For the pilot episode, I could have done a lot of different topics, great techniques that you really should be knowing and using in your writing. But I think for the pilot episode, it is worthwhile to talk about what you're going to write. You see, fiction is a very, very weird thing. At least for us writers, is very often not completely fiction. It can be from existing events going on around the world. It could be inspired from our own lives and our own experiences and our own biases. Writing about fiction is like telling someone a story of what happened to you on a particular day. I don't believe that anyone can write 100% fictionalized story. I believe that something or the other, some component does get into this piece of paper that you write on. I think what I'll do is I'm going to share with you what my experience in writing my first novel was. And in fact, my first experience with writing fiction at all. There was a time where I just couldn't write fiction. I didn't know what to write about firstly. I forget about the techniques and forget about plot structure, forget about characterization, forget about all of that. I just didn't know what to write about. I had really no idea. So when I started writing, I was like really confused. It just became I began to hate writing because I couldn't write anything at all. Then what happened was during the lockdown period, I created a video about something, and that's when I came across this person called Chuck Jones. You might recognize the name by the creator of Tom and Jerry, I think Looney Tunes as well, the amazing cartoonist. In this one interview, I think I'll attach it somewhere over here. In this one interview, he was talking about what inspires him to make cartoons, what inspires him to be a cartoonist. He mentioned
the most important thing to me is to learn how to draw. And the best thing to do is to go to school and learn how to draw. And that person had a personality. How do you learn that? Reading. Read everything. Everything. The more you can read, the better chance you have of understanding what character's all about. A man who did read a lot, a man named Charles Dickens, wrote the Pickwick Papers. He finished them before he was 24. And before he was 30, he had done Old Curiosity Shop, Barnaby Rudge, 2 or 3 other the masterpieces before he was 30. Mm-hmm. So you can't start too young to read. Yeah. And the more you read, the more you will exercise your imagination. You have to know what that town looks like. You have to know what the Dickens London looked like as he saw it. There's nobody to explain it to you. You have to see it in your own mind. And God, that's wonderful. And somebody once said that the artist never completes anything, he only abandons it. And that's true of all of us. We don't. You make this picture. I mean, when you finish it, when I'm here, you can think of 100,000 ways you could have improved it.
So he said, read books. Read, and read books, so that you know how to craft a character. You know how to craft delicate intricacies of that personality that you're drawing. I think for writing long form, or for that matter, just writing fiction in general, it's really important to just experience life. Just go out for walks, go out, meet your friends. There's one thing that really helped me. It's that very often I would go out to just cafes and just sit and observe people. I would have some earphones on, and I would have my laptop with me. I had a notepad open and I would just jot down points. There was an interesting group of people having coffee and discussing. I would observe, how are they talking? Are they talking in a really loud voice? what is the expressions they have to each other, how is one person involved in the dynamic of the group, and what is the dynamics of that group sitting there and chatting. What phones do they have? How does brand appeal to them? Just sit and observe people, and very often you'll realize you'll have a lot of ideas about people. Because I'm a fiction writer, I'm a novelist who has written about people. So observing people and understanding how people behave and how people work around other people and how they express themselves in a public space is all very crucial for me. I hope you get what I mean. That's one thing you can start off by doing. You can just go around observing people, observing things. You can observe the trees, you can observe animals. If you're going to be writing some fiction that involves animals or pets, you can observe them. And I think that's the underlying theme of being a fictional writer. It's that you have a huge capacity to observe just anything and everything. You have a really huge capacity to observe and morph that observation into words which mean a lot to other people, and it also means a lot to you as well. So I think that if you help yourself by improving your capacity to observe, to just learn, I think something like that will really help you. So I guess that wraps up this video. In conclusion, what I wanted to tell you is that if you don't know what to write about, forget about the how. If you don't know what to write about, just try by observing the environment around yourself, and that way you'll have some understanding of who you want to write about and what you want to write about. And something like this will keep you inspired over and over and over again. Like, it's not just about writing one book, it's about writing many books. So if you get inspired to write one book about something, there is no rule saying that you can't write a book about something else. And all of this inspiration you can get by observing people around you. You can also get it by reading books, you can get it by watching movies. Like me, for example, I don't like reading a lot. I used to read a lot when I was a child, when I was a teenager, but right now my capacity to read has reduced. That's something I'm working on. But I watch a lot of movies. So that's something which, like, I typically go through previously Oscar nominated movies or other awards, something like that, and then just go through critiques list, IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes. I just go through all of that and I watch very critical movies which shaped a whole generation, things like that. So that's how I keep myself inspired, and that's how I keep myself knowing what I need to write about in the next book. So just like that, I'll catch you guys in the next video.